The elevator chimed as Liam stepped out onto the top floor, toolbox in hand, expecting nothing more dramatic than replacing a faulty thermostat that had been causing the executives to complain about the temperature swinging between Arctic tundra and volcano. He had barely taken 3 steps when a piercing, strangled sound cut through the air. A child's cry, not a normal cry. This one was raw, shaky, threaded with panic so intense that it echoed across the sleek marble corridor like an alarm bell only a parent could hear. Liam's heartbeat kicked up instantly. His instincts as a father sharpened in a second. He scanned the hallway and saw chaos unfolding, a flurry of assistants scrambling, one on the phone, another waving frantically at security. At the center of it all lay a little girl, maybe 7 or 8, curled on the floor, hands fisted against her chest, her breaths sharp and shallow. "Move," a voice screamed, slicing through the panic like a blade. The crowd split. A woman in a deep navy business suit, hair immaculate even in crisis, rushed toward the child with a fear so raw it stripped away every ounce of her notorious composure. Emery Walsh, the CEO, the woman everyone in the building feared, the one rumored to have fired an entire PR team over a typo, was now on her knees on the cold marble floor. "Ava, baby, breathe, just breathe, please," her voice cracked, trembling, breaking in ways no one in that hallway had ever heard before. Liam moved closer, careful but urgent. He didn't know what was happening, but he knew one thing: this little girl was in trouble. But before he could even reach her, Emery turned on him, eyes blazing with the grief of a mother who'd already imagined the worst. "Don't touch my child," she screamed. The command reverberated off the walls, freezing the entire hallway. Assistants stared, security stiffened, and Liam stopped mid-step. He understood her fear. He understood the protective barrier parents instinctively threw up. But he also understood something far more crucial, something no one else seemed to notice. Ava wasn't choking. Liam watched the small tremors in her fingers, the way her hands tapped the marble in small frantic patterns, a rhythm that wasn't random. It was communication. It was panic. It was silent screams for help from a child who didn't have the words to shout them. Liam had seen this before, too many times. His own daughter, Mia, had done the exact same thing when she was overwhelmed, before she had learned how to control her breathing with his help. Without hesitating, Liam lowered his hands slowly, palms up, showing he meant no harm. Emery looked like she wanted to scream again, but the uncertainty in her eyes showed she was unraveling, lost, terrified. Liam didn't speak. Instead, he slowly lowered himself to the floor beside Ava, not touching her, not reaching for her, simply letting her see him. Then he lifted his hands and began to sign. "Are you scared? You're safe. Can I help you breathe?" Ava's wild, unfocused eyes snapped to him. Her fingers twitched, responding with small, broken movements that only someone who understood sign language could recognize. A shocked gasp burst out of Emery. What are you doing?" she whispered, as if volume alone might shatter the fragile bridge forming between her daughter and this stranger. Liam ignored everyone else. He kept signing, slow and steady, exaggerating the calm movements so Ava could focus on them. "Copy me. Inhale, exhale, slow." Ava copied him, her breaths jagged at first, then slowly stretching out, softening. Emery watched, chest trembling, her hands hovering helplessly above her daughter as if afraid to touch her, afraid to break the spell. Liam kept going, guiding the child through a breathing pattern Mia had once learned from him on a night much like this, terrifying, overwhelming, seemingly hopeless. After a few minutes, Ava's body relaxed. Her fists unclenched. Her eyes, previously drowning in panic, now blinked with recognition and relief. She lifted one small hand. "Thank you." Liam smiled. "She's okay," he finally said aloud. Emery exhaled shakily, a sound halfway between a sob and disbelief. How did you know what to do?" Liam swallowed. "My daughter is deaf," he said quietly. "She used to have panic attacks too." Emery stared at him like the ground beneath her had shifted. The woman who commanded entire companies now sat trembling on a cold marble floor, utterly vulnerable. Ava tugged at her sleeve suddenly, signing something quick and urgent with her little hands. "Sweetheart, slow down." "I don't." Emery's voice broke. I don't know what you're saying. Her daughter repeated the signs, slower this time but still without being understood. Emery's breathing hitched, a mother realizing her child had been trying to talk to her in a language she didn't know. Liam hesitated, then spoke softly. She wants to tell you something. But you won't understand unless someone teaches you. Emery turned to him sharply, eyes wet, voice barely steady. Unless what? Liam took a careful breath. Unless you learn sign language. Silence fell so heavy it felt like the entire world had stopped breathing. Ava looked between them with wide, hopeful eyes. Emery looked shattered. Fear, guilt, and desperate determination clashing in her expression. Her voice fell to a fragile whisper. Help me, please. Part 2. Liam led them to the wellness room on the 12th floor, a quiet space with soft lights, comfortable chairs, and soundproof walls meant for meditation or mental breaks. But today, it was a haven for a mother who had spent years fighting battles she didn't know how to win and a child who had been fighting hers alone. Emery entered the room slowly, holding Ava as though she feared letting go would make her disappear. The confident, commanding CEO persona had vanished. What remained was a mother terrified of failing her child again. When they settled onto the padded benches, Liam sat across from them, leaning forward so Ava could see his hands clearly. You okay? He signed gently to her. Ava nodded, rubbing her eyes. Her breathing had steadied, but her small body still trembled with exhaustion. Emery watched the interaction with a mixture of awe and heartbreak. How long have you known this? She asked Liam quietly. Since Mia was 2, he replied. She was born deaf. Her mom and I learned sign language together, but after my wife passed, it was just me teaching her. Emery's face softened. I'm sorry, she murmured. Liam offered a faint smile. It wasn't easy, but it taught me how to listen without ears. That's how I knew what Ava needed. Emery swallowed thickly, her gaze drifting to her daughter's hands. I always knew she was different, she whispered. She didn't talk until much later. Doctors kept telling me she was just shy or anxious. But she always seemed like she was trying to tell me something I couldn't understand. She was, Liam said gently. Kids like Ava communicate differently. That doesn't make them less. It just makes the world harder for them when no one speaks their language. Emery closed her eyes, and for a moment she looked like a woman who had built an empire but somehow lost the map to her own child's heart. Ava tapped her mother's wrist again and signed slowly, hesitantly. Emery blinked in confusion. Liam, what did she say? Liam hesitated, then translated softly. She said, I get scared when you don't understand me. Emery's face crumpled. Tears filled her eyes instantly, slipping down her cheeks before she could stop them. She pulled Ava into her arms, hugging her tightly. I'm sorry, she whispered into her daughter's hair. I'm so sorry. Liam looked away, giving them space, his heart aching with empathy. He remembered the exact moment Mia signed her first full sentence without help. He remembered the pride, and the crushing fear, of being responsible for understanding her completely. When Emery finally loosened her hold, she looked at Liam with a steadiness forged from heartbreak and resolve. Teach me, she said. Not just today, not just a few signs. Teach me everything. Liam blinked. You want me to? I want to be able to talk to my daughter, Emery said fiercely. I want to know what she's feeling. I want her to know she's not alone. I'll pay whatever you ask. I'll arrange any schedule. Just help me. Liam leaned back, studying her. For the first time, he saw not the CEO, but a mother begging for a way back into her child's world. You don't need to pay me, he said finally. You just need to practice. Emery's lips parted, but before she could argue, he lifted his hands and began teaching her the basics. I'm here. You're safe. I love you. Her movements were stiff at first, shaky, uncertain. But each time she signed something correctly, Ava's face lit up with joy so pure it made Emery choke on her own breath. Ava leaned into her mother, touching her cheeks, smiling in a way that spoke louder than any words. Hours passed. Softly, quietly, beautifully. Eventually, Ava fell asleep against Emery, curled into her like she had been waiting her whole life for this exact warmth. Emery stroked her daughter's hair gently, then looked up at Liam. "You saved her today," she whispered. "No," Liam said, "you saved her by being willing to learn." Emery smiled. "Small, vulnerable, real. Will you keep teaching us?" she asked. Liam nodded. "As long as you need me." Emery exhaled, relief washing over her like a tide. "Thank you," she said softly, "for giving me back my daughter." They sat there in the quiet room. Liam, the single dad janitor who had learned to speak with his hands, and Emery, the powerful CEO learning for the first time what it meant to truly listen, as Ava slept peacefully between them. And somewhere in the soft glow of that silent room, something new began, woven not from words, but from understanding, patience, and a language powerful enough to change all three of their lives.